guys, your first step should be to copy the problem. Then you're going to write the 5 steps for problem solving. What's step 1? Diagram. If you haven't drawn a diagram for this, there is no possible way you're ever going to get the problem. It's simply not going to happen. In this one, it is possible that you could guess at angles and eventually come up with an answer. It would only take you about 100 guesses before you found the 3 numbers that would work. But if I put a decimal on either one of these, it would make it 1,000 possibilities. And if I put a double decimal, in other words, I put 0.15 on one of those, it would make 10,000 possibilities. And there's no way you'd ever get it, ever. If you draw a diagram, though, you have a chance. What's step 2? Formula. Obviously, we're talking about the angles of a triangle here. What formula are you going to use? What's the name of the formula that you're supposed to use to find the angles of a triangle? Triangle sum. You add up the 3 angles, you get 180. You should write triangle sum formula. The diagram, the hardest part is to rewrite these so that they're in algebraic notation. You need to do that. Call your smallest angle x again. After you write the formula, you need to substitute inside parentheses. You should always substitute inside parentheses. 4, you need to simplify. And finally 5, you need to solve. In this course, basically, it's going to come down to, can you take a problem like this and apply these 5 steps to it? That's about half of this class. If you get this now, the problems are going to be the same all the way through. They're never going to change. They're always going to be the same. The only thing that's going to change is that instead of it being 3 angles on a triangle, it'll be 2 angles on a transversal. Or it'll be an angle in an interior and a couple on the exterior. Or something like that. But the steps are exactly the same. You do the same things. That's half the class. So if you haven't drawn a triangle yet, probably be a good idea. Use a straight edge so it's a good triangle. Don't draw an old nasty one. Since there are 3 different angles, they tell you there's a smallest, a largest, and a middle. That means they're all different. What kind of triangle is it? All different? Has a name, starts with an S. Scalene triangles are all different. You need to draw a scalene acute triangle, if you can, more or less. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just get it close. Make sure your triangle's scalene, and see if you can label it. The easiest way to do this one is to call your smallest angle x. And I'm also going to call it A. Angle A is going to be my smallest angle, and it's going to measure x degrees since I don't know how big it is. I still need to write the measure of angle B and the measure of angle C. Angle C is going to be my largest angle. You guys can label it how you want, but I think it's easier to do it that way. Label your 3 angles. Now I didn't overlap these because I'm not going to be measuring anything. In fact, it doesn't do me any good to measure anything because this thing, unfortunately, is not going to be the same size as the one I'm looking for, unless I'm very, very lucky. I'd have about a 1 in a million chance of hitting it perfect, right? So I can't measure the angles. I just have to use this as a diagram to help me figure out what's going on. This is going to be my smallest angle A, my next bigger angle B, and my largest angle C. Now I did accidentally draw this as an obtuse triangle. Well, it might be acute. It's pretty close though. That's probably about 88 or 90 degrees, somewhere in there. Some of you did a better job than I did drawing your scalene acute. Yeah, that's an acute. Label your angles. And you do that by interpreting what this problem says. You guys need to stay ahead of me. What do we put for the measure of angle A? We need to put x degrees on my smallest angle. Now I need to figure out what the measure of angle C and the measure of angle B are. It says the largest angle of the triangle has a measure. What is the measure of the largest angle of the triangle? Measure of the largest angle. Which one's the largest angle?
C.
Angle C. All of this is right there. Measure of angle C. That's all it says. Measure of the largest angle. There it is. Measure of angle C. Is. What is? Equals 24 degrees less than triple the smallest. Oops, I put two thans in there. I'll get rid of it. 24 degrees less than triple the smallest angle. What's that? 3x minus 24. You must turn it around. Less than is reverse subtraction, isn't it? That is, measure of angle C, not B, that's the largest angle, is 3x minus 24. And I can label it. I'm going to label this one in black as well. Label your other angle and then follow the steps. See if you can finish this problem completely. The next time you come to class, one of the problems on your test looks just like this. Just like this one. This is 10% of your semester or your 6 weeks test grade. Right here. Fill it in. Got this one. The middle angle is angle B. As is the same as is, equals a measure that is 6 degrees more than double the smallest angle. What's that? 2x plus 6 degrees. Yep. Now comes the easy part. You have your triangle, you have your diagram, and it's labeled. You should always have a labeled diagram. Next, you need to write your formula. Write the formula for the triangle sum. Then substitute and simplify. Give it a try. Don't wait for me. Need to write the formula, guys. The formula is not that difficult. The three angles of a triangle equals 180 degrees. Triangle sum. Write it down. Don't wait, do it now. I have a diagram and it's labeled. I write my formula, the measure of angle A plus the measure of angle B plus the measure of angle C equals 180 degrees. That's my formula. Now I substitute inside parentheses, simplify, and solve. You need to do more than copy, guys. You've got to try it yourself. I'm going to replace these with parentheses. Substitute it in, finish it. To study for this, make one of your own. Just make up one. If you want it to work out evenly like mine are, all you have to do is make sure that if you use double and triple the angles, that these are multiples of 6. These numbers right here. As long as these are multiples of 6, you can make one of your own. That's the best way to study for this, is to create one of these problems yourself. Sure. All right, what do I put for the measure of angle A? X, B, 6, and 3x minus 24. Now, after you substitute inside parentheses, you simplify. X plus 2x plus 3x? 6x. Plus 6 minus 24 makes negative 18 equals 180. And we solve it for x. We need to find the measures and the angles, so we're not quite done yet. So I'll have to solve for x and find them. Finish early. Got it? Okay. That's what we're looking for. What did you do next? How do you solve this? Add 18, both sides. 18 degrees. That gives you 6x is equal to 198. And then you divide by 6. And what is x? Nope. Try again. 33 degrees. And you're almost finished because you know what A, B, and C are. If you know x, you can substitute it in and find your A, B, and C. We know this is the measure of angle A. To find the measure of angle B, we need to put our 33 degrees right here. And our 33 degrees right here. Boy, I sure got them close together, didn't I? Yeah, my largest angle was just barely the biggest. This is 66 plus 6, which is 72. And this one's 99 minus 24, which is 75 degrees. So it was almost isosceles. If they had been the same size, it would be an isosceles triangle. You will have one problem like this on your 6-week test. One of them will look just like this. You will be required to draw the diagram. You need to write out your 5 steps. It should look just like this and find your 3 angles. Today we're doing something new, just like I did yesterday. This is number 6. It's going to be a transversal across parallel lines. First of all, I'd like you to draw some parallel lines. This is number 6. Let me go get my new sheet so I don't have to draw it twice.